and it's finished, then it is they cannot go back to each other unless they have a new contract. The incident, she stayed and she thought it's just like a divorce. No, it's not. Somebody made fatwa that this seclusion is going back. That's not right. This is illusion only in the divorce that is taken back, which is the first divorce. The khula, it is the first. The khula, she cannot go back to him unless they have a new contract, new wedding. What I think, my comment, if this incidents are right, as it is narrated to us, and all depends on the one who made the question, because the mufti is prisoner of the one who is asking. So we say, we blame the husband who he is the one to be blamed because he did not play it and he rushed. We blame her for insisting of the khula, and she already had divorce. Why she did that? Because she was angry at him. She wanted to get back at him. Peace blessing on the Prophet ﷺ, who said, do not do this. Do not get angry. When someone came to the Prophet ﷺ, give me an advice, he said, do not get mad. He said it again and he said, don't get angry. Third time, the same thing. So she should not talk about these facts. So don't let someone talk about her honor or the honor of her husband. Even it is to make fatwa. She was asked the fatwa and he was given the fatwa, so that's it. And we see through the facts that they still have arrogance and they like divorce. And they still can come back with a new contract and new dowry. So maybe they'll go back with a new contract if they thought that they will establish Allah's laws, with the concern to fulfill the contract. For those, there is nothing for those who love each other like marriage. So the family dispute is very bitter, and we still continue discussing this. And as I said, it is very bitter and very tough and rough, especially in this country. Because whenever you find a big family, you don't see a big family with the same mother still in that family home, in that household. The brother is asking, is it allowed to go to the civil court if there is a dispute between the husband and wife? Do they immediately jump to the civil law, civil court, the American law court, claiming it is more generous to the woman from the Islamic one? So she don't think that she wants to go to the Islamic center to settle the problem of the divorce. Because whenever the woman wants a divorce, she goes to the lawyers and she takes half of the man's wealth. This indicates the wives to leave the household and jump after money, and to humiliate him and take half his money forcefully. What is our comment about this? We say the civil court does not does not replace the Islamic marriage. Only the father, I mean the husband, and the Islamic Shara can make that divorce. And we always say when somebody wants to get married, goes and give us a marriage license. He come to the masjid, we give him the marriage. With it, he become a husband in front of Allah and in front of people. Then he take that contract to document it in the courthouse. The court is just documenting, does not establish the Islamic contract. It is an offer and acceptance between the guardian of the wife and the husband. That contract is documented in court. So if they want divorce, so if the husband wants to divorce his wife, the same rule. There is a civil part that has to be done. The civil one is settled in the court. The Shar or the Islamic divorce will be done through the Islamic virtue, which is in the West. It is the Islamic centers. So we say very importantly, the divorce is the last resort to settle a dispute. You have to start with arbitration, try to find a middle ground. And before that, the advice to bring people back to their sanity. If that did not work, to stop the dispute between them, then they go to arbitration to make them try to fix the problem between them. Because Allah said, if you think there's a separation between them, send an arbitrator from his family and from his family. If they want goodness, Allah will make it successful. Allah is knowledgeable and expert. In the Eastern countries, they make this arbitration, make it obligatory. Before khula, no matter what the judge believes the wife, he wait for the arbitration. You have to take it to arbitration, and if the arbitration department, the two husband and wife, they have to go there so they could look into their issue, and if they want to fix the problem, Allah will help them. If they unsuccessful, then they go back to the judge, and then the judge could defend. صوتين عم بيطلع صوتين. So to destroy the houses is from the biggest issues. It's not easy. There is nothing more fulfilling to the devil than separation between a husband and wife. From the hadith that Jabir ibn Abdullah said that Iblis, he put his throne on the water. Then he sent his soldiers. The one closer to him, the one who done worse. Anyone who comes and says, I did this, he didn't do nothing. This one made this until someone comes in and say, I separated between them. Then the shaitan put him very close to him. He said, you are the one. You are the one who made a big accomplishment. To destroy the relationship between the husband and wife is from the biggest adventure of shaitan, and it makes Allah angry. The Prophet ﷺ said, it's not among us who separated a woman from her husband intentionally, caused the relationship to severe. Now, if there is no other way except this ugly end, which is divorce, or to separate between the masjids in outside the Muslim countries, they don't have nothing in front of the court, nor does it have authority to start ending this divorce before the divorce is done at court. They have to have that divorce done at the court, and so the masjid cannot be put in under a violation of the law, especially when there is a dispute, and whomever is angry will always try to get revenge on the Islamic centers instead of the other way around. So if the Islamic representatives failed to fix the problem between them, and there is nothing in front of them except to have the sad end of the khul, then the masjid give the husband several chances, then he issue the divorce. Amja, they have an issue that it has to be done with agreement between the two. If they went to the judge after they take it to the arbitration and the arbitrator could not fix the problem. So if it is the woman's divorce, then they decide how much is the khula, and if it is the husband side, then they could advise of the divorce. And there's a very important issue for those who replace the Islamic law outside the Muslim countries to rush to make a divorce on the husband until the civil court issue the divorce to stop any legal harm from the violation of the law of the land. So it is very important that the divorce is different in Sharia. In Sharia, there is no split between the wealth between the husband and wife. No, she is guaranteed whatever her dues from her dowry, the deferred part of it, and also the gift that's supposed to be somewhere between 2 to 5 years amount of alimony or expenditure. And sometimes they have to measure what is the mistake between them. The the rest of the money he could keep some for his kids and he spent on them. So we could decide that the woman who is working, if she helped her husband in a technical part and she have a share in his wealth, as far as how much she put in that someone who's working with her husband and she's working in the office several hours a day. Those hours, it's not from the house chores that she have to do at home. That's beyond. If she worked with him or in his investments, then she gets from his money a share, depends on how much she used. And they have to doing goodness between them, and they have to decide from the beginning on the boundaries to stop the dispute. I mean, I mean, I mean, the Sheikh is making dua that Allah will support the families, the Muslim families, and to prevent it from any hardship. Someone is asking, is it allowed to hunt the pig, the wild boar, to feed the dogs f- from that hunt? So he hunted not to eat it, but to feed the dogs who are guarded the person. I don't see any burden in hunting it to feed it to the dogs, because the pig is forbidden for Muslim, like the dead and others. Allah said, it is forbidden you, the dead, deceased body, and the blood, and the pig, and whatever is done for beside Allah, al-mu'ud al-mukhaniqa, and whatever the beast eat. So you can, there's nothing wrong with feeding it to the uh, and Isa, when he comes at the day of at the end, he will break the cross, and he will kill the pig. The Prophet ﷺ said, by Allah who holds my soul, Isa, he's about to enter between you as arbitrator, and he will break the cross, kill the pig, and put aside the jizya, and the money will be abundance that nobody will take it. And then he says he can eat. Shaykh Islam, he has a beautiful saying. It is allowed to distinguish the fire with alcohol. Can use it to distinguish the fire? Yes. Why? Because using it is the destroying of these things, not to use it. So, inshallah, there is no burden of what you mentioned. A woman is saying, I was born on Sunday. I had a child on Wednesday. When is the aqiqah and how long you can tell it? We tell her, first of all, congratulations. What is better, that it will be killed on the 7th. If you did after that, no problem. It's better on the 7th because of Hadith Samra. The Prophet ﷺ said, every person is held accountable with his aqiqah. On the 7th, you do it and you shave his head. So how do you take the day before that? So if he's born Sunday, then you slaughter Saturday. That is the rule. So if that day is gone, Aisha says, then 14th. If it is not, then 21, then in any day after that. A brother is asking, a, a friend is asking, a friend, he borrowed some money about over 30 years. He went overseas. When he came back, he wanted to pay the debt. I need to put the gold amount at 85. We have answered this question several times. In the debt, yet you would pay it back with the same, not with this value. But if there's a collapse to the currency, or exchange, or it's a big decrease in its value, then you go with the value to establish the justice. With this, there is the decision of Amja that you have to return the loans with its equality, not with its value. Doesn't matter which is higher or lower. The real equation is not the face, but with the, so it's not the paper that it's hold, but the buying power, because that paper is nothing but a regular paper, but the buying power. Then you go to the value, without a doubt. But it is completely gone, or it went down big time, then it's accepted to stop the harm. And this it depends from one area to another. And you go to arbitration in this matter, or to court. Another question person asks, we are scared to take the virus corona because some people get tired. And there is no woman who could give vaccination to our wives. This person works in a government area. Can he does? What is sound? We don't see to bribe with no necessity. What you have mentioned does not get to the emergency, what you could lie and falsify the papers. The fear of the vaccination is an illusion. All the doctors we know, they taken the vaccination and they are in millions. And just because there is no woman to vaccinate your wife, or that does not take you to the falsifying the papers, because the man is giving vaccination to the woman. If there is no woman, that's from the things that is allowed. This is a decision, and so many Muslim verdict or fatwa groups. So if there's no Muslim woman, then I want a non-Muslim doctor. If not, then a doctor, Muslim female. And also, there's the last choice will be the non-Muslim doctor, male, and he need to look at only the part that is ill or sick, and to move his side as much as he can. And they cannot be isolated, but with the presence of another nurse or another woman. What's the difference between interest and fees? Where the scholar they said it is allowed to have fees. The condition to for those fees that has to be known and it represents uh, an action into uh, um, those fees has to be something justified. They cannot be something out of extraordinary. It has to match the work that's done. So those fees they have to be known and decided and match the actual work that's done. It does not matter with the amount of the loan or how long. Another question: to work on social media, and it is a woman, and she have to be friendly on the Facebook. What's the problem? And all the social medias like that. There's nothing wrong with working in area where the women are directed, as long as there is no isolation. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he worked with the money of Khadija before Allah make them a prophet. The problem is not to deal with a man or a woman. The problem to have the rules of engagement, not to look. You can look at the woman when you deal with her, but not to go beyond the need. No isolation, and the woman should not soften her talk. Someone's asking, I work in a company to fight money laundering. The company, they want me to deal with a bank, even though I don't work with the bank directly. The answer, what looks to us, there's nothing wrong with that work because it is allowed. You're not making a direct help on the harm of riba that the banks are using. Someone is working in transportation. He needs to make sure that whatever he takes, delivers, is from the thing that Allah. Sometimes you will have one part that you don't pay attention to, or have taken uh, the covenant of the promises, but they did not fulfill the promise. So we tell him, you need to be concerned that your work is permissible and to do all your best and to achieving that. So whatever you miss from what you can't do, I hope it will be among the things that is forgiven. And I hope nothing wrong with your income. But we advise you to give a lot of charity because Qais ibn Gharza said, we used to be called at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the he called us a different name. He said, "Oh, merchants, they're selling. You should not swear, and and so instead of agent to be merchants." And he said, "Do not swear, and do not say what is not right. Don't lie, and give a lot of charity." Let's look at some of the questions we got today. Engineer, he put the engineer did something wrong and he killed somebody unintentionally by putting a pipe, and he did warning, but it was dark, so somebody died. The mistake and the results, and the results between them, and the judges, they look at the amount of mistake to consider. If it is 100%, then you have to pay 100%. It is shared, then they decide how much each one the part of his mistake. Allah said no Muslim should kill another believer except by mistake. In the can eat the food that is cooked in alcohol or in wine. First of all, you cannot cook it with wine. That means you have to buy it and hold it. It was cursed the one who did it. But if somebody gets something, if there's a minor amount that will not intoxicate the person we eat, even if he ate a lot of it, then nothing wrong with that. What is forbidden is what's going to intoxicate you. But does that intoxicate you? No problem. So it depends on whether the person is going to intoxicate or not. Let's suppose there's chocolate. Oh, it has 50% alcohol. If this chocolate, if you eat a lot of amount, will make it intoxicate? Said yes, then this is forbidden. I said no, it's too minor to make somebody intoxicated at all. Then it is okay. and we try to make sure the accuracy of forbidden, just like we do on the things that are permissible, so we will not fall in line on behalf of Allah. Astaghfirullah. I want to take a loan to buy a house from one of the Islamic finances, but the owner don't want to deal with Islamic finance because the reviews are very bad. So what do? You have to be patient. May Allah make it easy for you, and don't go back to the actual banks unless there is like you need to have a house no matter what. If there is dispute, there is no nothing, no paper between the two partners. Each one is asking for his right. But you go to someone and give him all the evidence, and he will talk to each one until he decide what is the money, whether it is a loan or a partnership. Astaghfirullah. And to say, oh, the one who made Sulaiman understand, make us understand, and who taught Dawood teach us. So we go, before we leave, to sit on, to make the sujood and put a blanket or something. Is there any problem? No, that's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to do that too. He makes sujood uh, on the blanket of his, or the mattress of his wife. The rule, you can put your forehead and nose on that sujood, on that place. This is okay. What you cannot do, does not settle, that the face does not settle. Yes, it could be a blanket or a pillow, as long your face is going to settle at the end. Imam al-Hanafi says you can mix it on cotton or grass, even the snow. If it does not, cannot get to the end, no. Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen was asked about prostrating on sponge. I said, if it is light, it will rest when you mix it with, no problem. So nothing wrong with the mattress or the blanket or the pillow, as long as your face will settle. We ask Allah to accept. Inshallah, subhanakallah, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.